The story begins at a school where the teacher is walking in the hallway, shivering and sweating a lot. The teacher just got scolded and warned by the head that if he couldn't fix the grades of Class 2C, he'll be fired. The head teacher angrily reminded the teacher that he hired him because he heard about the results that he produced in a famous American psychology research institute. The head teacher asked him to show the same result here as well. As the teacher entered the classroom, a ball smashed on his face. The class was in chaos. No students were calmly sitting on his seat like students with proper respect does. But there was one girl named Reena who was sitting calmly on her seat, trying to study. She thought that the racket in the class was becoming louder again. She has become indifferent to it. Recently, no matter what she does, she just never felt motivated at all. As the days pass, she always ends up thinking, is society also something like this? She called the teacher and everyone here an idiot. She wondered if there would be anything she would be interested in the future. At that moment, a student walked near the teacher and called him a wage slave. Even though the teacher didn't say anything, the student lied that the teacher was saying if a ball came smashing to his face again, he'd beat them to death. Hearing that, a student named Wada came to the teacher and asked him if there was a problem. The teacher started shivering after seeing him and said no. Then, Wada asked the teacher to start the homeroom class. The teacher walked to the board and wrote something. Immediately after writing it, the teacher was about to leave but Wada grabbed him from behind. The teacher had written that the math class in 5th period will be held in the audio-visual room and attendance is mandatory. Wada pointed out the text saying attendance is mandatory and asked the teacher if his superiors didn't tell him that the school is supposed to treat its students with respect. Wada questioned him about what one should do when he asks for something. Hearing that, the teacher immediately sat on his knees and bowed down, begging the students to attend the class. When the class started laughing, the teacher announced that he will pay them $150 each if they attend the class. As everyone was shocked hearing that, the teacher revealed that he would get fired if they boycott any more classes. That's why he was doing this to keep his job. Everyone was really happy and started celebrating. Wada also warned the teacher that if he was lying, he would respond accordingly. During break time, some girls were arguing if teacher Shimobi would really pay them 10,000 yen for just attending the class. They pointed out that what would be the point of all this if he gave more money than he earned. Hearing that, a girl assumed that the teacher Shimobi might have gotten pressured really hard and had no choice but to resort to this method. She also mentioned how Class 2C was falling apart really fast. Right then, the second girl mentioned that Class 2C started falling after Saki was suspended from school. Saki was a student of Class 2C who got suspended for beating a P.E teacher half to death. As she loudly wondered what drove Saki to resort to such violence, Reena, who was also sitting with them, remembered a past scene. She remembered that Saki beat the P.E teacher so brutally because that teacher forced himself on Reena. Saki beat that teacher to save her. Saki gave the teacher two choices. One was to confess everything to the authorities, and second was to die by his hands. Right then Reena, sitting on the ground trying to cover herself, said that she was all right and requested him to hide everything that happened here. She doesn't think she would be able to stay alive after everyone finds out about this. Hearing her request, Saki didn't force the teacher to reveal anything. In the end, only the fact that Saki beat that P.E teacher was revealed and nothing else. None of P.E teacher's crimes were revealed. In the present, the break ended and all Class 2C students immediately head to the class to get money. But even after a few minutes, the teacher Shimobi didn't enter the classroom. As the boys decided to find Shimobi and teach him a lesson for lying, the big screen in the room turned on. The countdown began and when it hit 0, the speakers turned on. The voice coming out from the speaker was so loud that students couldn't block it even after covering their ears. They felt like their eardrums were about to burst. Suddenly, all the students turned their eyes toward the big screen. Some random and disturbing scenes flashed on the TV before everything went quiet. All the students were in daze, wondering what happened to them. Right then, Shimobi entered the room. A student immediately asked him about the sickening blast of noise and images they just heard and saw. Shimobi answered by asking them if anyone has heard the term post-hypnosis. Shimobi didn't wait for the answer and explained that during hypnosis, suggestions are implanted in people which are forgotten the moment they wake up. However, in this post-hypnotist state, these suggestions can be recalled using certain cues or signals which will cause the hypnotized to enact these suggestions. Explaining that, he revealed to the students that at this moment, they all are in a post-hypnosis state. The students were really angry, asking Shimobi what he did to them. Right then, Wada chuckled, asking Shimobi if he really thought he would get away after messing with him. He asked him if he really thought he could turn him into a cat or dog with a single signal. Wada asked the student named Yamamoto to punish Shimobi, and he immediately went to do so. As he punched the teacher in the face, Shimobi didn't shout in pain or anything like that. He smiled and said, "Hypnosis activation signal 1, using violence against other people." Yamamoto didn't care about what Shimobi just said and grabbed him from the head, ready to smash him. Suddenly, Wada got worried and asked Yamamoto to stop. But before he could listen, he had already smashed his own head into the wall for some reason. Then, the teacher finally revealed which suggestion he has implanted into these students' heads. He has implanted the suggestion to commit suicide. He told them that with normal hypnotism, causing someone to die isn't possible. However, the video he showed them is one that is actually used by some religious cults. It uses a practical technique which forces mind control over the viewer. Through the use of this method, Shimobi hypnosis can reach the deepest depth level of 50 on the Bordeaux hypnosis scale, which allows control over spontaneous movement as if one was sleepwalking. The depth that their consciousness has been hypnotized to has already reached the level where they can be forced to take their own lives the moment one of their actions matches one of the signals. Right then, a girl called her mother. She was about to tell her mother about the situation when Shimobi revealed the second signal, trying to tell someone who's not their classmate about what happened here. Immediately, the girl cut off her own tongue and died. Her blood splattered on Reena's face as she also fell on Reena's shoulder, who was in daze as well. The teacher revealed that at this moment, there are 100 signals he has suggested to all of them. The teacher maniacally shouted, saying he hopes they all fully enjoyed the freedoms they used to have until now. From now on, they would live in fear, as even putting on a single sock might kill them. However, Shimobi felt bad if all the students would do is wait for their deaths. So he added a signal that will undo the hypnosis. The method to release the hypnosis is to watch every single one of their classmates die. In other words, from 37 of them, only one will survive. Saying that, Shimobi turned to Wada, and seeing his expression, he was really happy. He said that he was dreaming for the day he would see Wada's composed face distorted with fear. Gritting his teeth, he asked Shimobi if he thought he would be unscathed after doing all this. While walking toward the window, Shimobi said no. He said he would be waiting for all of them in hell and then jumped down. Shimobi immediately expired, and hearing the panic, the head teacher rushed to check what happened. As the head teacher entered the audiovisual classroom, he was horrified after seeing the scene in front of him. Standing in the crowd, Reena was thinking why such a thing happened to her. She was completely unrelated here, as none of the disruption in class was her fault. But the teacher stole her everyday life anyway. The ones left behind were the students and 100 signals that would kill them, with the only hint for survival requiring every classmate except the survivor to die. The head teacher kept asking what happened here, but no one responded. Everyone remembered the signal number 2, telling someone what happened here will result in death. Everyone stayed shut and didn't move a single inch. As long as they don't know what actions will cause them to kill themselves, they can't move their bodies at all. What if one of the signals was to walk? Right then, the head teacher appeared in front of Reena, suspecting and asking her if she did all this because she was covered in blood. When Reena didn't say a word, the head teacher grabbed her arm, asking her to come with him. At that moment, Wada asked the teacher to stop. He was covered with sweat and said that they have all just been scarred by something that happened right in front of them. He questioned if a teacher of this school would really grab the arm of a student and treat her like a culprit without proof. When the teacher didn't say anything, Wada requested that they should be allowed to return to their classrooms. He also added that they're minors, so the school should allow them to cope with things like this as respectfully as possible. Saying that, Wada took a step forward. After just taking some steps, Wada was covered with sweat. All the students immediately started thinking that Wada is amazing for taking such a risk. Reena thought that while they were all surrounded by landmines, to break out of this dangerous situation, one needed courage to take the first step. For taking a step in this dangerous situation, Reena thanked Wada, but at the same time, she detested him completely. The one who pushed Shimobi this far and forced him to go as far as hypnotizing all of them is none other than Wada. If Wada wasn't here, they wouldn't be in this mess. Not only Reena, but all the other students are thinking the same. But at this moment, they have no other choice but to follow Wada. While making as little noise as possible, they all assembled in a line and followed behind Wada. The head teacher was shocked after seeing the scene and wondered what happened to the class 2C. After entering the classroom, all of them wait for Wada to sit down. While he was scared and sweating a lot, he built up courage and sat down. Seeing him, everyone realized that sitting down is fine and sat down. After sitting down, Reena felt her legs hurting so hard like she had run a marathon. She can't even relax because getting back up might cause their death. Shivering, Reena said out her thoughts loudly that they're going to die. Hearing that, Wada asked her if she thought he was walking and sitting down blindly. Wada himself answered no and said that he had confidence that what he was doing was safe. He reminded everyone that the teacher Shimobi wanted them to agonize over every little decision they made. However, he wasn't aiming for an ending where all of them are wiped out immediately because that wouldn't be satisfying. Therefore, he couldn't choose 100% essential movements like sitting or walking as signals. So, Wada decided to turn the tables on the teacher Shimobi. He suggested that from now on they would live an imitation of life using only the very minimum actions. Wada assumed that if they were able to endure it, Shimobi's hypnosis would lose effectiveness and vanish eventually. He announced and encouraged them that they would win against Shimobi and survive for sure. Hearing the word survival, everyone's hope of surviving this crisis skyrocketed. Seeing the scene, Reena thought that she already knew Wada has the qualities of a natural leader, however, she can't trust him. She thought that Wada is doing all this to prevent everyone from blaming him. He's just taking leadership in name only. She thought that Wada only thinks about things that benefit him. If the time came, he would definitely betray them all without a second. At that moment, Reena thought about Saki, who also has the qualifications of being leader, but the difference between him and Wada is like day and night. Right then, the head teacher entered the room asking everyone to listen to him. He revealed that the police had just arrived at the school. He pointed at the two inspectors standing outside the classroom and said that they're currently investigating this case. He asked the students to cooperate and told them that today it'd be a while before they'd be able to go home. While everyone was scared about activating a signal accidentally, Wada got up and said he would go first. As he got up, it proved that standing up is fine. When Wada was about to leave the room, a guy requested him to return safely and said that they needed him. After some time, Reena started shivering. It turned out that she was holding in for a while. Now she needed to go to the toilet as quickly as possible. She can't hold it for much longer now, but she was worried that if she peed herself, she could die. Right then, she remembered what Wada said about actions required for everyday can't be signals. But still, Reena is too scared to go to the toilet. At that moment of desperation, Reena spotted another girl sitting right beside her, struggling to hold in as well. Seeing her, she immediately realized that this girl named Yoshikawa was struggling more than her. And as she hoped for her to go to the toilet to see if it was safe or not, some liquid started dripping down from her seat. When Yoshikawa wet herself, she asked everyone to not look at her. Seeing her in that condition, Reena was feeling really bad. But there was no time for that, as she didn't die after relieving herself. Reena thought that it was safe and immediately stood up from her seat. Right then, she noticed blood splashing on Yoshikawa's seat. It turned out that Yoshikawa had pierced her own head with a pencil and she expired in an instant. As Reena saw that, she fell back to her seat, thinking that everyone's going to die. At that moment, Wada entered the room, and before he could announce who was called by the inspectors next, he saw expired Yoshikawa on the ground. He asked what happened to her, and a student revealed that she peed and died. Hearing that, Wada revealed that he just returned from the toilet. The students immediately realized that going to the toilet normally wouldn't have triggered the signal. It was dirtying themselves that would kill them. Realizing that, Reena didn't waste a moment and went to the toilet. If she had waited just a little longer, she would have died as well. While relieving, she thought that the wage slave, Shimobi, read their minds. He intends to play with them and make them suffer. Having their entire everyday life revolve around survival, Reena thought that she can't make it through this. She looked up and while crying, she pleaded for her everyday life to be normal again, even if it was stupid or boring. In the classroom, everyone was scared except a fatty in the back. He thought that except him, everyone would die. It turned out that this fatty named Aizawa had recorded girls' videos while they were changing. He was thinking of controlling every female in this classroom using that video. Seeing Yoshikawa on the ground, a student asked if they should call a teacher. Wada revealed that the teachers came with him and were in the staff room below them. Unless they go and call them, they won't come. Hearing that, the classroom went silent and Wada realized and asked if the class wanted him to go and call the teacher. Right then, Kimitsu stood up, saying she would go and call the teachers. While shivering, she pointed out that they can't rely on Wada forever. She also mentioned how Wada risked his life many times for them. She said that from now on they should put their lives on the line for the sake of the class. Other students also started to point out the same thing. While everyone was talking and giving opinions, Izawa sneaked out of the room unnoticed, or so he thought. Wada noticed him and got curious. He immediately said to Kimitsu that she doesn't have to push herself, he would go himself and call the teacher. Izawa was standing near the stairs, looking at his phone. He was thinking that he is holding the biggest weapon in his hands, but the problem now is that watching that thing might trigger any signal and kill him. Right then, Wada appeared behind him and scared him. Wada asked him what he was doing in this place. Wada knew that Izawa has a habit of taking peeping photos. But the thing is, Wada also knew that Izawa wouldn't stand here taking panty shots in this dangerous situation. So, he angrily asked him what he was doing here. At that moment, Izawa revealed something that shocked Wada. It turned out that Izawa had taken the hypnosis video. Izawa explained that today, the girls' changing room was under repair, so they were told to use the audiovisual room instead, and he decided to hide a camera there. He was planning to retrieve the footage after 5th period, but then all that happened and the camera never stopped recording. Izawa should be able to transfer the video to his phone from his camera, but he's worried that there might be a signal for using the phone. Because he was so scared, Wada asked him to hand over the phone and he would check. As Izawa was really hesitant, Wada promised that he wouldn't reveal the signals to anyone else but him. Wada said that if only they both knew the signals, the whole class would become their slave. Hearing that, Izawa built up a really big smile and handed over the phone. After watching the video himself, Wada headed back to the classroom. Without saying a word, he revealed some signals to the whole class. Number 3. Pick your nose. 4. Kick a ball with your right leg. 5. Sit in the school corridor. 6. Drink coffee. 7. Yawn in front of a teacher. After revealing 5 new signals, Wada asked everyone to rejoice. He said that he had confirmed the triggers for 10 signals. At that moment, Izawa entered the room, huffing, and asked Wada why he was revealing the signals to the whole class before even showing him. Without saying a word to him, Wada revealed to the whole class that Izawa was planning to take videos of girls changing in the audiovisual room, and happened to catch a few minutes of what happened during the hypnosis video by chance. Everyone in the class was really angry and started asking him questions. Right then, Wada pointed at Izawa and loudly guessed that he was thinking of creating a harem using signals information as bait. Izawa immediately tried to hide it, and to do that, he touched it as well. Because of that, a signal was triggered and his balls exploded. Wada already knew this signal as it was number 8 in the list, touch erect genitals with your hands. With this kind of signal, there was no way to enjoy a harem to begin with. Then, Wada turned to the class and loudly said that they need to unify together if they want to survive. If any of them decided to act for themselves and betray everyone like Izawa did, Wada said that there would be no way for them to survive then. Hearing that, no one said anything, but Reena refused to believe him. She asked him to hand over the recording as she wanted to hear it herself. She made a point that there was no way to tell if he was hiding any signals, so she had to check for herself. Wada didn't question and threw the phone on the ground with the recording playing in it. The recording revealed 4 more signals. 9. Burst out laughing. 10. Stumble and fall over. 11. Lose in rock paper scissors. 12. Throw something other than garbage in the bin. With that, the recording stopped and Wada told them that the power of the camera was probably cut there. Reena still refused to believe. She said that there was no way to tell if he had edited the recording. At that moment, Kimitsu spoke up, asking Reena to shut up. She pointed out that Wada had done so much for them and said that they would have to stick together in order to survive. She asked Reena to not make suspicious claims which can throw them into chaos. In the end, Reena couldn't say anything because everything Kimitsu said was true. Seeing them taking Wada's side like this, he smiled and thought that Reena was right about everything. Everything she suspected was true. Izawa's video showed signals up to 33. Now Wada knows all the signals from 13 to 33. All students' lives are now in his hands. Surrounded by students, Wada looked toward Reena and thought that what these students need right isn't truth but a pillar to support them emotionally and ease their greeted worries. And that would be Wada. He said that from here on, he will control this messed up survival game and won't let anyone interfere. At the same time, at Saki's house, while he was playing with his dog, his mother reminded him that he had to go to school today. In school, an announcement happened, asking all students remaining on school grounds to go home immediately. Furthermore, entry into school grounds on Saturday tomorrow will be completely prohibited. The inspectors and the teachers, when faced with the repeated chain of suicides, were lost for words. The secret video Izawa took was also deleted by Wada before the police came to call them. Not a single classmate said a word about the truth. They were told the questioning would go on until night. It was all over just before 6 p.m. Not being able to obtain any information from the students, The police, while looking visibly baffled, left while leaving them with only these words, "Come back tomorrow." The students were worried because tomorrow is Saturday and they might trigger a signal if they attended school. At that moment, a student questioned an even more concerning thing. What if they trigger a signal by leaving the school and going home? Also, their families don't know anything about these signals, so the parents might ask them to do things that might get them killed. While they were thinking about what to do, the head teacher entered the classroom and asked all students to go home today and return to school yesterday for investigation. Hearing that, Wada asked the teacher to prepare a bus for them that would drop them home. The teacher was about to question, but Wada rudely asked him to shut up and prepare a bus for them. With no other choice, the teacher left the classroom asking all the students to wait in front of the entrance. As the teacher left, Nakajima asked Wada if there's any other place that would be safer to visit other than home. Instead of answering, Wada turned and said to Nakajima that if he didn't want to go home, he should not ride the bus. But the thing is, if any student didn't ride the bus, that student would be similar to Izawa, a person who was disrupting the class unity. Hearing that, Nakajima panicked and said that he was just worried that one signal might be "ride a bus" or something like that. Wada understood his concern and turned to Reena, asking her that if he wanted to win the trust of the class again and join their group, she should enter the bus first. He asked her to show her sincerity by stepping up and bearing the risk for all the classmates. Everyone agreed with Wada and started pressing Reena, asking her to listen to Wada. They started calling her traitor and told her that if she wanted to gain their trust, she should become a sacrificial lamb. Without saying a word, Reena ran out of the classroom. She forgot the threat of suicide. She had realized that Wada used her to show the others what will happen if one is isolated from the group. If she had stayed there, she would have been purged like Izawa. Walking in the hallway, Reena realized that she couldn't trust anyone. As she thought that, she spotted Saki standing in front of his locker. Reena was shocked after seeing him. He mentioned that he was called in for an interview for the release of his suspension. But he was playing with a dog and lost track of time. At that moment, Saki noticed blood on Reena's face and asked her what happened. Reena couldn't answer because of the signal and just said that it's nothing. Reena asked him to stay away from her, but Saki didn't listen. He said that he can't ignore his classmate who is covered in blood. Hearing that, Reena realized that Saki is also her classmate. So it might be safe to tell him about the signals. Even though Saki is her classmate, she was still worried because Saki wasn't present when they got hypnotized. Suddenly, Saki touched Reena's face and he realized that the blood on Reena's face wasn't hers. Rubbing her face, Saki asked her to tell him what happened to her. In the end, Reena decided to reveal everything to Saki and asked him to help her. Meanwhile, the bus appeared in front of the school. Because no one was entering the bus, the teacher asked them what's wrong with them. Still, no one said anything or moved an inch. At that moment, Wada stepped out of the bus. Seeing him, everyone realized that entering the bus was safe, so they all entered. Meanwhile, Reena has told everything about 100 signals to Saki. Reena thought that Saki wouldn't believe him, but contrary to her expectation, Saki easily believed her. While Reena was lost in her thoughts, thinking that Saki might be able to save Class C, Saki kept calling her. Because she wouldn't listen, Saki shouted, which jolted Reena awake. He asked her where did the other guys in class go. Reena told him that in order to avoid risks, a group to return home was formed by Wada who prepared a bus. Hearing Wada's name, Saki was shocked and worried for the students. At the same time, Wada was leaving the bus. When a student questioned him why he was leaving, Wada said he couldn't leave Reena behind. The students asked him to not care about that traitor, but Wada didn't listen. He asked the driver to go on ahead. Nakajima asked Wada to promise that he would meet them tomorrow. Wada promised and the bus started to head outside the school boundaries. At that moment, Wada smiled and thought that they wouldn't be alive to see tomorrow. Wada thought that everything he did until now was a lie to send them all to their deaths. From Izawa's video, he knew a way to bury them all in an instant. He found the ultimate signal that is 13. The 13th signal is leaving school. If just a few seconds, the moment the bus would leave the school, all the students would die. At that moment, Saki suddenly jumped in front of the bus. Seeing him, the teacher immediately turned the bus around to not hit Saki. The bus was just inches away from leaving the school boundary before it stopped. Seeing Saki, Wada was really angry and questioned when he returned. Inside the bus, a student was wondering why the bus stopped. She called her friend named Anze, but she did not answer. It turned out that Anze had killed herself by pressing her face with immense force. The reason for this is that even though the whole bus didn't leave the school, some part of it was outside. And because the Anze's seat was in that part, she died. Seeing her, students panicked and ran back. In panic, Najima stumbled and fell down, triggering a signal. He smashed his own head in the bus and got eliminated. At that moment, Saki entered the bus and asked everyone to calm down. He told everyone that he heard about the hypnosis from Reena. The reason why Anze died was most likely because her seat was just far enough to have left the school. He mentioned that the front of the bus is covered in blood, and asked all the students to not panic and leave the bus one by one. Listening to him, all the students left the bus one by one. At that moment, Saki noticed Wada and walked toward him. Then, he punched Wada in the face and made him almost pass out. As Wada closed his eyes, he questioned if Saki would take everything from him again. After a while, Wada woke up and in front of him, Kimitsu was sitting. She said that she didn't wake him up herself as she might have accidentally triggered a signal. Seeing her, Wada asked her how long he was out. Kimitsu told him that he wasn't out for that long. Kimitsu also told him that Saki told all the teachers that they would have to take refuge at the school for a short time. Saki hid everything related to hypnosis while emphasizing the crisis they are in. Kamada then asked what happened to everyone. Kimitsu told him that his friends got punched by Saki and went off to get cold water for their wounds. After that, everyone went with Saki to the art room. Hearing that, Wada smiled and thought that it's the same as back then, when Saki transferred in 1 year ago. He was good at studies, sports and fights, and the #1 seat that Wada held was also stolen by him in a flash. Now, Saki has done all that once again. Saying that, he asked Kimitsu why she was here. Kimitsu suddenly blushed and said that there was no reason. Putting that aside, Kimitsu told Saki that everyone has been telling that Wada made them ride that bus to kill them. Kimitsu refused to believe that because she thought Wada had been putting his life on the line all this time. Even if no one believed in him now, Kimitsu still believed him. Kimitsu asked him to clear up the misunderstanding. At that moment, the clock hit 6:30 p.m. and a bell rang. Right then, Shimobi appeared in front of Wada and Kimitsu. They were stunned and scared. At the same time, Shimobi appeared in the classroom, where all the students were sitting as well. Everyone immediately panicked and stepped back. Saki was confused and asked Reena why everyone's panicking. It turned out that Saki can't see Shimobi. Shimobi spoke up, saying he had appeared to them all who had heard the 6:30 chime to deliver them a message. This is a suggestion he had given them in addition to the 100 signals. He said that it has been around 4 hours since he has activated the suicide hypnosis. He said to everyone who has survived until now that he has good news for them. He announced that they would be entering bonus time. From now on in 30 minutes, until 7 o'clock, if they witnessed the moment of death for 4 classmates. To those who would be able to accomplish such a splendid achievement, Shimobi offered the released from their suicide hypnotism. However, looking at corpses doesn't count, they have to see the moment of death 4 times over and burn that into their eyeballs well. That's all for the explanation. With that, Shimobi disappeared from there saying he would be waiting for them in hell. As he left, Reena thought if Shimobi was telling them to kill each other. At the same time, Kimitsu fell to the ground, saying she wouldn't be able to do something like that. Suddenly, Wada laughed and said that he had enough of all this. He asked Kimitsu if she wants to see him die right now. Kimitsu was worried, but Wada continued. He said that he's tired and distrusted by everyone, and how things are turning out, he doesn't think he would be able to live very long separated from everyone. So, he wants to die being of use to someone who likes him. Hearing that, Kimitsu blushed and their faces slowly got closer to each other. As they kissed, Wada grabbed her arm and made her touch his balls. While Kimitsu was confused, Wada smiled and said he's hard right now. Because Kimitsu triggered a signal by touching erect genitals, she quickly tied a chain around her neck and she stretched it with so much force that it tears her neck, expiring her. At that moment his friends, Donu and Kodana, were also standing right behind him. They also witnessed the moment of Kimitsu's death, so now they all only need to see the death of 3 people. Wada asked his friends to come with him if they wanted to clear the game. Smiling, Wada asked Saki to wait for him as he would be coming to take his precious classmates away from him. Meanwhile in the classroom, a guy named Murace shouted that they should choose 4 people to die. The students were shocked, unable to believe Murace just suggested that. As they looked at him, he shouted, saying if they just sacrifice the 4 people, the rest of them will be saved. He also added that they may never get a chance like this again. Hearing that, the class students also started considering it. A blonde girl named Sonoda looked toward 2 otakus, saying they're already scums so they should die to help them. A guy immediately asked the girl to stop saying that, pointing out that choosing sacrifices is meaningless. Right then, Murace turned to Saki, pointing out that he's free to hit or kill anyone. He pointed out that no matter what would happen, Saki would be safe. Murace mentioned that they're grateful he saved them from the bus, but if he really wants to save them, he should share some of their burden. Murace asks him to think of a better way to help them. At that moment, Reena suggested that they should retrieve Izawa's secret camera. As Murace heard that, he immediately reminded her that Izawa's video was erased by Wada. Reena then pointed out that Wada only erased the video on the phone. The actual camera should still be in the audio-visual room. She said that Saki should be able to retrieve the camera while the police are away. If the data still remains in the camera, it'll be a clue to undoing the hypnosis. They would also be able to find out if Wada was hiding the signals or not. Saki agreed and Reena also decided to go with him. She also asked 2 otakus, Saki, and Mori to come with them. Before leaving, she asked everyone to not do anything stupid. After they left, Sonoda asked Murace if he would really wait until Reena and others would return. As Murace said that he doesn't have any other options, a guy named Donu barged into the room. Seeing him so pale, they asked him what happened. Donu revealed that Wada killed Kimitsu. Donu fell to the ground, saying it's over and he can't follow Wada anymore. Some time passed and there were only 20 minutes left until bonus time would end. The class started panicking, questioning if they should really trust Saki. Amidst the panic, Donu saw a girl named Hyeno. She was sweating and shaking a lot, mumbling something to herself. Donu moved toward her and offered her water bottle. Hyeno refused it, saying it might trigger a signal. Without hesitating, Donu took a sip from the water bottle. Because he didn't die, Hyeno was sure that nothing would happen and took the bottle. As the girl took the sip, she felt really relieved. She thanked Hyeno and moved to return his bottle. At that moment, Donu spit out all the water from his mouth. It turned out he didn't swallow the water and stored it in his mouth. Right then, Hyeno opened the drawer, took out some spiky things, and pierced her eyes with it. The class was really shocked and scared after seeing that. Then, Donu revealed signal number 18, drink water from a pet bottle. Right then, Wada entered the room with a kodana. Seeing him, the whole class was terrified and stepped back. Wada asked them to calm down, saying he's here to help them. Confused, the class asked them how he would help them. Wada reminded them they all saw the moment of Hyeno's death. He revealed that he knows 33 signals and will show them the deaths of the last 3 people in order to clear the bonus round. In the audiovisual room, Saki and others split up and started finding the camera. While they were finding the camera, Reena saw something horrifying through the window and shouted. Saki immediately noticed her and moved toward her, seeing Kimitsu's dead body lying in the school grounds. Meanwhile, Wada revealed that he has already retrieved the camera from the audiovisual room. The class was still angry at him because he tried to kill them in the bus before. Wada said that the situation's changing hour by hour, so they should forget what happened in the past. He asked the students to raise their hands if they would obey and wanted to clear the bonus round. Wada raised his arm, thinking how Saki stole everything precious from him, he would do the same to Saki. He would make Reena's classmates betray her. Signal number 23, have 25 or more classmates point at you. Then, Wada added that if even one person refused to raise his hand, the deal would be cancelled. In the end, all the students raised their hands. At the same time, Saki was really angry after discovering Kimitsu's dead body and said he would kill Wada. Without wasting a moment, he headed toward the classroom, muttering that he's gonna kill Wada. In the classroom, all the students decided to follow and obey Wada. As Murace asked about the signal that would help them clear the room, Wada smiled and called Nakajima. He mentioned to him that he was supposed to be his friend, and asked him why he threw him away and started following Saki. Saying that, he pointed finger at Nakajima and asked everyone to do the same. As everyone did, Nakajima took a sharp object and cut his own head. He told the signal number 23 to everyone and said that they would use this signal to clear this bonus round. Seeing the shocked students, Wada changed his tone, saying they haven't killed anybody. The one who's been killing them is Shimobi. He said that no matter who dies, they would be the victims here. With a serious expression, he asked the students to not fumble. They would point at 2 more people and end everything right here. The time passed and only 5 minutes were left. The students started to get worried, saying Saki and the others might not come before the time ended. Wada asked them to not worry, saying they would surely return. Even though he said that, he was also panicking from inside. At that moment, the door opened and Saki entered the room. Seeing him, a student immediately pointed toward the door, but Wada asked to wait until Reena comes in. As Saki looked at the students, he saw their strange expressions. Because of that, Saki noticed something which Wada immediately realized as well. Reena was about to enter the room when Saki asked her to wait. But Saki was late, as Wada asked everyone to point at her. All the students didn't hesitate and did just what Wada asked of them. Wada laughed loudly, saying to Saki that their debt would be cleared with this. But his expressions changed quickly because Reena didn't die. The students were also shocked until they noticed what's going on. It turned out that one of the girls, named Asahina, didn't point her finger at Reena. The class students were really angry at her, calling her retarded. They asked her to quickly point her finger at Reena. But before she could do that, Saki moved forward and grabbed Wada from the neck. Saki had already realized that Wada tried to kill Reena. Likewise, Reena realized as well. Saki glared at the students, which scared them to their core. Saki tightened the grip around Wada's neck, determined to kill him. The students started to panic and cry because there were only 10 seconds left. While they thought about what to do now, the clock hit 7 and the time of the bonus round ended. Saki looked at the clock and accidentally loosened the grip around Wada's neck. Taking the chance, Wada pushed away Saki and ran outside. Saki was about to give chase, but Reena stopped him, asking him to not become like Wada. 10 minutes later, the environment turned gloomy. Saki covered the bodies of the students, while Reena was sitting near the door with a sad expression. Because the whole classroom tried to kill her, she was really sad and broken. Two girls walked toward her, trying to talk to her, but Reena stared at them, asking them to not talk to her. She reminds them how she went out to search for Izawa's camera to find a way to save them, but in return, they tried to kill her. She cursed them angrily and mentioned that being in the same room as them makes her want to vomit. Hearing that, both girls started crying as well, and walked away apologizing to Reena. Crying, Reena thought that they lost many things during the bonus time. Friendship, trust, common sense and many more things. Having all her classmates wish for her death has broken her heart beyond recovery. She thought that Shimobi would surely be laughing at them from hell. At that moment, the girl named Asahina walked toward Reena and sat beside her. She said that she also doesn't have anywhere else to go. Seeing her, Reena thought that Asahina is a girl who was bullied by Sonoda and her friends. Asahina mostly stayed absent because of that reason, but unfortunately, she attended today. Reena thanked her, saying because of her she wasn't killed. Hearing that, Asahina asked her to not thank her. She said that she was also thinking of pointing at her, but at the last moment, she realized that sacrificing someone is the same as bullying that happened to her, so she changed her mind at the last moment. At that moment, Saki announced that he would be going to find Wada and take the camera from him. Right then, Asahina stood up, calling him a liar. She mentioned that she saw him picking up the camera that Wada dropped earlier. Immediately, Reena's expressions changed, and she asked him what he was planning to do. Asahina said that when Wada ran out, she saw something black fall onto the corridor. After Saki went out into the corridor and came back, whatever that fell from Wada was missing. Reena asked Wada to show them his pockets. And as Asahina said, there was a camera inside Skaki's pockets. When Reena asked him why he lied to them and hid the fact that he had the camera, Saki smiled, saying he forgot for a moment that he picked it up. Some students believed him, but some didn't. Sonoda also didn't believe him, and she mentioned that if he had crushed Wada and looked up the signals from the camera, he would have become the next ruler. She loudly said that he stopped them from clearing the bonus time because he wanted to become the ruler and mess with them. Like that, the students who are grateful to Saki started fighting with those who are accusing him. Seeing the fight, Asahina asked them to stop fighting. Hearing that, Sonoda walked toward Asahina and yelled at her, cursing her and asking her to know her place. Before she could say more, Saki appeared between them. Sonoda still didn't stop. She asked Saki to not pretend to be a saint by protecting a woman now. At that moment, a boy named Hashiba asked her to stop. Surprisingly, Sonoda listened to him and stopped fighting. Then, he asked Saki to set up a computer in the computer lab so they could watch the video that's inside the camera. Saki agreed to him and went to the computer lab. After he was done connecting the camera to it, the other students also arrived there. The video started with the girl changing their clothes. The girl who first appeared in the video immediately asked Saki to skip this part, but Reena asked him to not. She wants to watch the full video without skipping a second. As the video progressed, Reena suddenly shouted, saying someone came in after they left. The person who entered is Shimobi. Shimobi started preparing the scene for the hypnosis. After a moment, he moved his mouth, as if talking to someone. They immediately raised the voice to listen to what he was saying. Shimobi said that after the hypnosis, he intends to die as planned. He mentioned that the important thing is to not give the students a single hope. Shimobi continued, he asked the person who he was talking to watch with their own eyes. Shimobi asked them to slip into the class and watch all the students' deaths. Hearing that, all the students panicked, realizing there's someone in their classroom who knows all the signals and is connected to Shimobi. In the video, they couldn't hear the voice of Shimobi's ally nor the figure. With that, Shimobi left the room. Saki mentioned that after Shimobi left, everyone returned to change clothes again. That means Shimobi was here during PE. He asked the first girl about what they did in PE today. The girl answered that they practiced for next week's marathon. Learning that, Saki concluded that during class, when everyone scattered around, Shimobi had a chance to meet someone. It could be anyone from here. Hearing that, Sonoda walked up to Saki and said that the person could be Saki as well, who was suspended from school. Saki didn't disagree with the statement. Seeing his expressions, Reena wondered if Saki tried to hide the camera so they wouldn't suspect him after watching the video. But Reena quickly dispelled the thought, and decided to believe in Saki for now. Right then, Sonoda shouted, holding a paper in her hand. She said that she didn't know when this paper slipped into her pocket. The paper said, after 9 p.m., please come to the hall of the training room, building for bonus time to start. Reena realizes that they're being invited by Shimobi's ally. At that moment, a person, who's most likely Saki, glanced at them with a side eye. After watching the complete video, they wrote down all 33 signals shown in the video. I can't read all of them here, so just pause the video and read them. Bruh, the number 20 is really stupid. Like people comb their hair with their hands all the time. I am surprised no one did that the whole time. Number 14 and 15 are also really absurd. Most absurd of them all, number 33. Imagine just touching money will kill you. Anyway, the whole class gathered in front of the training room. No one was entering the room because they were worried about triggering a signal. They wonder if they should really follow the note. Maurice shouted, saying the bonus time is the only chance they have to break free from the hypnosis. The training room facility is only used by the principal for staff training and training camps. The big hall is used for assemblies. It is a school building which is always well maintained. They entered the facility, wondering what sort of trial awaits them here. Inside, the first thing they saw was a table with a computer. On the table, there was an envelope which said, "Apologize, scum." Right then, a girl named Komi shouted, saying she saw something like a person cross the hallway. Reena thought that it might be Wada. Without wasting a moment, Saki left the room to check who that was. But as he left, the door closed, locking him outside. He tried to open it, but it was shut tightly. At that moment, Shimobi appeared inside the classroom to introduce them to a new round of bonus time. He said that all of them who choose to enter the bonus time are really wise. Because this time there's going to be a very peaceful rule. He said that their limit is 2 hours. If they work together to figure out the 20 signals, from 51 to 70, they would clear the bonus round. As the students shouted that it's impossible, Shimobi pointed at the envelope on the table. Shimobi asked them to choose one person who would open the envelope. When no one moved, Sonoda started shouting at Asahina, asking her to open the envelope. Even when she started using force, no one jumped in to stop her, as no one was willing to take risks. In the end, Asahina had no choice but to open the envelope. There were 2 cards inside with number 51 on both of them. Card A said, "Get on the ground and lick the designated person's shoes." Card B said, "Prostrate yourself in your underwear to the designated person." As they read the card, Shimobi appeared in front of them. He said that one of the cards is the real signal 51. He also mentioned that the person holding the cards is the designated person. The designated person has to choose someone in the class in the next 10 minutes to become a test subject. That test subject has 3 minutes to figure out which is the real signal by acting out either A or B. Meaning, the chance of death is 50%. Without wasting a second, everyone started running away from Asahina. To choose the designated person, the method is to touch them and say the words that are on the envelope. While running, Sonoda tripped and fell down. But before she could hit the ground, Asahina grabbed her from behind and said, "Apologize, scum." As the chosen person, Sonoda has 3 minutes to choose card A or B and perform the action. If she didn't, she would die. In the end, Sonoda chose to lick Asahina's feet instead of prostrating. And luckily, her choice was correct and she survived. Meaning the signal was on card B. Then, Shimobi revealed that he had hid the remaining 19 signals in this training building. If they enter all the correct signals in the computer, it would play a video that would release them from the hypnosis. And the other thing, if they don't become the designated person even once, the video that would play on screen will kill them. The students realize that there are 20 signals, but there are 25 people here, which means at least 5 people would die. At that moment, the door opened and Saki asked them if they were fine. Without saying a word, most of the students ran out to find the signals and become the designated person. Reena thought that she didn't want to become the designated person, but she also didn't want to die. After Saki learned about the bonus round, he advised them to not leave this hall. The students asked him the reason why they shouldn't leave and also asked him what about the guys who just left. Saki said that he would bring all of them back himself. Saki asked them to calm down and told them that their first priority should be finding the traitor. By catching the traitor, they would most likely learn all the signals. And with signals in their mind, they would be able to clear this game unarmed. After asking everyone to stay in the room, Saki left to find the traitor. When he left, everyone decided to stick together and wait for him. Hashiba also asked Reena that she should wait with them together. Reena refused immediately, asking them to remember that they tried to kill her. Reena was sitting alone when Asahina came up to her and accompanied her. As they stood together, talking to each other, Reena's eyes were fixed on an envelope hidden under shelves. At that moment, Asahina whispered to her, asking her if she's not going to take it. It means Asahina has also noticed the envelope. Reena said that she wouldn't take it because she doesn't want to become a designated person. Reena is determined to not kill anyone. Meanwhile, Saki entered a linen room. There, he saw Maurice, who was about to get an envelope. Without wasting a second, Saki tackled him away from the envelope. Saki grabbed the envelope and asked Maurice to go back to the room. When Maurice said that he wouldn't follow his orders, Saki glared at him. Then, Saki grabbed him and personally led him back to the room. Irritated, Maurice asked him why he's doing this. The girl standing behind him, named Sasaki, told him that Saki is doing all this to find a traitor. At that moment, Maurice brought out an envelope from his shirt and grabbed Sasaki. Then, he said the words that were on the envelope, "I'll make you stylish." Sasaki gets 2 choices. Card A of Signal 63, cut your hair with scissors. B, cut your uniform with scissors. While crying, Sasaki chose card F, cutting her own hair. After cutting the hair, nothing happened to her and she smiled, thinking she survived. But other students' expressions said something else. It turned out that Sasaki has got her own hand without even realizing it. The blood gushed out like a fountain and slowly, Sasaki started losing consciousness. As Sasaki died, Saki grabbed Maurice from the collar. But before he could say anything, Maurice started crying loudly. He fell to the ground, clenching his head, unable to bear the weight of killing someone. After a moment, Saki decided to leave the room, saying he would bring back other students with the methods only he can use. As he left, a girl mumbled the words that Maurice said after touching Sasaki. The words were "I'll make you stylish," and Sasaki chose to cut hair, which was not stylish. This girl is trying to piece together the meaning of the words on the envelope. Meanwhile, Saki was running in the hallway when Asahina appeared behind. Saki shouted at her, telling her to wait in the classroom. Ignoring him, Asahina loudly guesses that the only method Saki is going to use to bring back others is violence. When Saki confirmed her guess, Asahina walked near him and said, "It bothers me." Suddenly, she brings out a taser and tossed Saki, making him fall unconscious. As he fell down, she glared at him, stating that when he moves around so freely, it bothers her. Asahina slowly dragged him away, saying she wouldn't kill. She just wants him to exit the stage until she takes her revenge. Meanwhile, Sonoda has finally found an envelope in the bathroom. The text on the envelope is, "Hurry up and prepare the ashtray." Reading the words, Sonoda was shocked. It turned out that Sonoda used to mutter the same words while bullying Asahina. Right then, Asahina appeared behind her, asking her if she remembers. So the reason Asahina didn't point at Reena and kill her wasn't out of guilt, but because she wanted the game to go on to get her revenge. The bullying from Sonoda and the others began soon after Asahina started school. Because the classes never changed in this school, every day was hell for Asahina. When Saki transferred in, it was quiet for a while, but as soon as he was suspended, the bullying resumed and kept escalating further. She was thinking about dying when Shimobi came to her and said that he would help her. At that moment, Sonoda realized the meaning behind these 20 signals. Sonoda was about to pick up an envelope, but Asahina put her leg in her hand. Asahina picked up the envelope, saying to Sonoda that she doesn't have the right to become a designated person. Saying that, she tasered Sonoda and the scene shifted to where the students were waiting. There, a girl named Mitsui said that she knows the phrase on the envelope. Mitsui is one of the girls who used to bully Asahina with Sonoda. She said that the signal 63, that killed Sasaki, sounded like something they did to Asahina in the past. As the students questioned where Asahina was, the door opened. Asahina kicked Sonoda inside the room and thought that Shimobi sympathized with her and entrusted her with part of his plan. He then left her in charge of making sure all students head to their deaths. Thinking that, Asahina mentioned that this bonus time went exactly as planned. She mentioned Sonoda, Mitsui, and Sasaki, saying these three who made her suffer. And all of the students who ignored while she was getting bullied, this is Asahina's revenge on them. Saying that, she threw an envelope in front of Reena, saying that this is for her. Then, she grabbed Sonoda, who was shivering, and said to her that she would be her lab rat until she would die. Because all 20 signals are ways she and her friends bullied her. If she's able to remember what happened, she should be able to avoid killing herself. Hearing that, Sonoda became even more terrified, thinking she can't remember anything. After that, Asahina looked toward Reena and asked her why she wasn't picking up the envelope. Reena answered by reminding her that she has already told her she wouldn't become a designated person. As she said that, Asahina picked up a card and tore it apart. She announced that from now on, if she felt like the game wasn't going anywhere, she would rip up some cards. She also mentioned that she's free from hypnotism and nothing would happen to her even if she broke some rules. Because this was the first time, Asahina decided to tell them the signal that was on that card. She showed her hand that had 3 burn marks and said that the signal was on the B card. A student quickly put the answer in the computer. Now, there's 17 signals left and 22 people who aren't designated. Right then, she pointed at the envelope that was hidden in the room and asked them to grab it. Immediately, all the students ran to get it, but it was only one envelope, so only one person became designated. The note on the envelope said, "You're polluting the environment with your ugliness." The cards were, A. Smear your face with chalk dust, or B. Smear your face with ink. Asahina mentioned that that is something Mitsui should remember well. Mentioning that, Asahina tossed Mitsui, making her fall to the ground. Now she has to choose the right option, but she doesn't remember well. In the end, she decided to smear her face with the chalk. Seeing that, Asahina was really angry, realizing Mitsui really didn't remember what she used to do to her. So the real option was option B. For choosing the wrong option, Mitsui died. Asahina was really angry, shouting that they all were watching her getting bullied, but no one remembered anything. Then, she scared the students with the taser, asking them to bring remaining envelopes here. All the students ran outside in panic, while Reena walked slowly in the hallway. She was shocked after learning that Asahina was a traitor. At this point, she doesn't know who the bad guy is. She just wants to run away. She reached the rooftop, thinking if she would die, she wanted to die by her own choice, not by breaking a signal. At that moment, she noticed an open door of the storage room and wondered if the wind blew open the door. As she took a closer look, she noticed someone's feet. She walked inside the storeroom and saw Saki unconscious. She freed him and shook him awake. Immediately, Saki angrily grabbed Reena, asking her where Asahina was. In the waiting room, a designated person is asking Sonoda to choose between 2 cards. The options are to stab your right thigh with a pen, or stab your left thigh. Sonoda was shivering a lot, unable to remember the right option. At that moment, Saki entered the room and pinned Asahina to the wall. Asahina was really scared, asking him how he got free. Saki ignored her and asked her to quickly tell the real signal. He tightly grabbed her wrist, making her feel a lot of pain. In the end, she revealed that the real signal is on card A. Sonoda immediately performed the action, saving her life. Then, Saki picked up a taser and tasered Asahina. As she fell on the ground, Saki asked her to reveal all the answers if she didn't want to die. Saki also added that it wouldn't be a quick death if she refused to cooperate. Seeing the scene, Sonoda was really happy. She started cursing Asahina loudly, thinking she's finally safe. Hearing all that, Saki turned around, angered. He asked her to stay shut if she didn't want to die. In the next scene, Asahina was tied up to the chair, admitting her mistake. She said that she would reveal all 20 signals, but she has one condition. Her condition is to make Sonoda the test subject until the very end. Sonoda immediately complained, saying she would rather kill herself right now. But Saki ignored her complaint and threw an envelope in front of her, asking her to make herself a designated person and choose herself as a test subject. At that moment, Reena talked, asking Saki what he was going to do about the amount of cards. If they designate Sonoda, There will be 14 cards and 18 people who haven't been designated left. If they continue with what they have been doing until the bonus time is cleared, 4 people will definitely die. Saki sighed and said he didn't know. He decided to clear the bonus round with as little sacrifices as possible. Right then, Asahina shouted, asking Reena to become a designated person if she doesn't want to die. Before Reena could answer, 2 students entered the room holding envelopes. Saki immediately asked them to line up, saying after Sonoda would become a designated person, they would get through the tests in order. After a while, 47 minutes were left until the bonus time ended. A girl was holding cards for Signal 59. Cover your head in cooking oil. B. Chug down cooking oil in one breath. Asahina said that if Sonoda chose card A, she would be fine. When she completed the task, Hashiba came forward. Seeing that, Asahina was really happy, revealing that Sonoda likes Hashiba. He didn't say anything and opened the envelope that said, "I think you know the feeling." The card A of Signal 53, use the toy for 3 minutes. Card B, put the toy in your mouth. From inside the envelope, a long toy fell out. Hashiba was really angry, but in the end he had no choice but to choose Sonoda. While Sonoda was forced to take in the toy, Asahina was enjoying it a lot seeing her suffering. As she started cursing Sonoda, Saki put a taser on her neck, asking her to stay shut. But Asahina didn't stop. She glared at Saki, asking him to kill her if he wanted to. However, if she died, they wouldn't be able to get all the signals. After a while, Asahina shouted, telling Sonoda to stop because 3 minutes had already passed. When the toy fell out covered with blood, Asahina smiled, saying she never thought Sonoda hadn't lost her V-card. Hashiba was really angry after hearing that and wanted to kill Asahina, but he had no choice but to stop. In the end, he just hit some chairs and ran out. Seeing the scene, Sasaki's eyes widened as he realized something. After 40 minutes passed, only one signal was left to uncover. Sonoda has suffered a lot and was barely staying conscious. Seeing that only 7 minutes were left, the students who hadn't become designated people were really worried. At that moment, Sasaki pulled out an envelope. The remaining students started begging to Saki to give them that envelope. Suddenly, Saki pulled out a taser and attacked all of them on the neck, likely killing them. Then, he threw the envelope in front of Reena, asking her to pick it up. But Reena didn't pick up the card, asking Saki to not decide for her. She said that even if they're able to clear the bonus round, she wouldn't forgive him. All the other students were also really shocked, thinking Saki killed those 4 students. When Reena kept refusing, Saki announced that he would kill every person here if she kept refusing to become a designated person. Reena heard that and called Saki a messed up person. Right then, Sonoda shouted, saying the one who's messed up here is Reena. Sonoda asked her to become a designated person and clear this bonus time. Soon, all the students started shouting, asking Reena to hurry up. In the end, Reena picked up the envelope and brings out the cards for signal number 65. Snap off one of your top front teeth. B. Snap off your bottom front teeth. Saki quickly asked Asahina to tell the answer. She licked one of her bottom front teeth and it fell out, revealing that the answer is on card B. Hearing that, Reena touched Sonoda and said, "Your charm points have increased by 1. These were the words written on the envelope. Sonoda got up without saying a word and smashed her mouth on the corner of a table. As one of her teeth fell out, she shouted, asking them to fill up the last answer. A boy was about to fill the answer but Saki stopped him. Then he asked Asahina if those who didn't become designated die before watching the hypnosis video. Asahina answered yes, and explained that when either all the answers are entered or 2 hours have passed, an extremely loud chime will ring inside the building. If the person who didn't become a designated listener heard it, they would be forced to die. Saying that, Asahina said that he has already killed 4 students, so there's no point in asking all of this now. At that moment, Saki revealed that those 4 students weren't dead. He missed their vitals and only made them unconscious. When Reena asked the reason, Saki said that in order to save those 4 students, he made them unconscious to open a hole in the hypnotism. He explained that Shimobi's hypnotism only activates when they trigger a signal. So as long as they don't realize they triggered a signal, they wouldn't be forced to die. Saki noticed this when Hashiba punched the chairs, hurting Kamiyama in the process. Hashiba should have activated Signal 2 for using violence against another person. But since he didn't notice he hurt Kamiyama, nothing happened to him. Like this, if the students who are unconscious don't realize triggering the signal, they would survive. Hearing all that, Reena and the other students were really happy. After the bonus time ended, all of them were really happy, thinking they cleared the bonus time. But when the video played, their happiness shattered as they learned that they failed to clear the bonus time. The screen revealed that at least one answer was wrong and asked the students to continue enjoying the suicide hypnotism. All the students lashed out at Asahina, asking her what happened. Asahina laughed, saying they forgot to clear one experiment. Out of all the 20 signals, they didn't perform one. Hearing that, Reena wondered if it was the burn mark signal. But they clearly added signal number 58 as Asahina told them. At that moment, Reena realized something, and seeing her expressions, Asahina decided to reveal the reason. It turned out that there are burn marks on both of her hands. Asahina started laughing like a maniac, calling the students around her stupid. She said that the marks she showed them on her left hands were ones she put there herself. The hand that was done by Sonoda was the right one. Asahina kept laughing, saying to Sonoda that all of this is her fault. As Sonoda heard that, she clenched her head, realizing that all the pain she suffered until now was for nothing. Sonoda's mind went into a daze as she ran outside. Right then, Saki grabbed Asahina, asking her if there's any other way to end the hypnotism. Asahina answered that her involvement ended here, so she has no idea. At that moment, all the students lose all their hope. Reena and Saki tried to motivate them to keep trying, but they didn't listen. Meanwhile, Hashiba and a girl ran outside to find Sonoda. While they were calling her name, the head teacher, Shinoda, arrived there. He asked the girl named Nojima what she was doing here. Nojima asked him the same question, saying everyone aside from their class should have left the school until now. Shinoda answered that the situation has changed. Before Nojima could ask him what he meant, a person appeared behind her and smashed her head with a metal bat. As she died, the teacher apologized and decided to move on to where the class 2C is. Once a year at Seishin High School, an informal gathering is held by the board chairman, and it had become customary for teaching faculty to bring family to enjoy the party. During the gathering, Shimobi called all the teachers and their families into another room. Shimobi welcomes them and announces that he would like to give them a lovely present. In the present, a teacher thought that what happened during that party had been completely erased from their minds. Then around 1 hour ago, Shimobi's phantom appeared in front of them. Shimobi revealed that a few days ago during the party, he gave their families all post-hypnotic suggestions as a present. From now on, if they tell anyone what has happened, they will die. At that moment, a woman was about to take a step. Shimobi warns her that if she moves, she will die. But she didn't listen and took a step. Immediately, she picked up a knife and pierced her own neck. The woman who just died was a teacher's wife. Shimobi mentioned that he has made their family hostages. If they want to save their precious family, they just have to do one thing. They have to kill all the students of class 2C until 6 a.m. tomorrow. With no other choice, the teacher decided to kill all the students to save their families. Soon, a teacher suggested that they should split up and take down all the students as soon as possible. Shimobi has told the teachers that the students can't use violence against them, so teachers have nothing to worry about. Suddenly, a female teacher started crying. She doesn't want to kill anyone, but for her 10-year-old daughter, she has no other choice. The whole time, Hashiba was hiding behind the wall, listening to everything. Around the same time, Saki told the students that he would be leaving the school for a while to find clues to undo the hypnosis. He pointed at the 4 unconscious students and said that before they would wake up, he would go to Shimobi's house and try to find something. He asked them to not go out and wait here. As he was about to leave, he called Reena outside. Immediately after walking out, Saki said, "I love you." Reena was really embarrassed, asking him why he chose her. Saki said to Reena that she never gets influenced by her surroundings and always remains herself. Saki said that he loves her because she's a strong person. Then, Saki told her that while he would not be here, she had to become the leader of the class. Reena argued his decision, saying she wouldn't be able to do it. But Saki said that she's the only one who can do this. He pointed out that in that messed up bonus time, she was the only one who wasn't overwhelmed by fear and remained true to her own beliefs. Before Reena could say anything, Saki requested her to protect the class and ran off. Seeing him running away, Reena called Saki wrong in her mind, thinking she's actually a coward and weak, who irresponsibly voices her complaints. Right then, 3 students stepped out of the facility as well. Reena asked them where they were going. Kamiyama answered that they haven't eaten anything this whole time, so they decided to go out and find some food. Telling that, a girl named Minowa mentioned that other than them, no students had strength left to move, so she asked Reena to join them as well. Reena agreed and they all found a canteen. While 3 students were gathering food, Reena wondered why the canteen was still open. At that moment, Kamiyama found Wada on the ground with blood around him. Kamiyama shouted and the others quickly gathered around. Minowa wondered if Wada triggered some signal and died. Reena immediately realized that Wada didn't trigger a signal. Reena mentioned that until now, all the students took their lives with one single fatal hit. But from Wada's body's wound, it looks like he was beaten. While the others were still shocked, Reena acted quickly and started pressing Wada's chest. Reena mentioned that the bleeding isn't that bad, so they might be able to get him breathing again. She gave him CPR and kept pressing his chest. As the others thought that it's no use, Wada woke up coughing blood. Reena immediately asked the others to find something to drink, also adding that it shouldn't be a water. So, they gave Wada a sports drink. After he took a sip, Wada revealed that the teachers tried to kill him. Meanwhile, Hashiba barged into the waiting room and shouted that they had to run away. Hashiba was in panic, revealing that the teachers were trying to kill them. Hearing that, the students asked Hashiba to not joke around. Then, Hashiba revealed that Nojima died in front of him. He also mentioned that Shinoda's coming here right now. As they heard that, the students were finally convinced and decided to run outside. After a while, Reena and others came back to the waiting room. Minowa was about to say the same thing that Hashiba said, but stopped after noticing there was no one inside except Asahina. She asked Asahina where's everyone. Asahina told them that all the students ran away because the teacher, Shinoda, was coming to kill them. The boy asked Asahina why the teachers were coming to hunt them. Asahina answered that she doesn't know because her role ended with bonus time. As she said that, Shinoda broke the door and entered, holding a metal bat. Hearing the voice of door breaking, Reena was scared, thinking why this had to happen the moment Saki left. Suddenly, she remembered Saki telling her to use her own methods to protect Class C. At that moment, she saw a scissor on the ground. She picked it up and freed Asahina. A boy tried to stop her, saying Asahina's their enemy, but Reena still freed her. She said that Asahina is no longer their enemy, and she's the only one who can help them at this moment. Reena said that at the moment, the one who can oppose the teacher's violence is Asahina. Hence, only she can help them to take down the teachers. Hearing that, Wada laughed, asking if they really wanted to entrust their fate to that traitor. As they heard that, the boy reminded him that he was out the whole time, and asked him why he's acting like he knows everything. Wada revealed that he was hiding in the roof storeroom and he saw Asahina entering the room with Saki. Immediately, Asahina realized that Wada was the one who unlocked the storeroom and ruined her revenge. From behind, Minowa said that at this point, her revenge doesn't matter because Shinoda is coming for them. Asahina said that she doesn't care if the teacher ends up killing them all. In fact, she was happy that her revenge would be complete. She said that it doesn't really matter if she would die here because she had already intended to die after completing her task. Right then, Reena grabbed her, saying even though they all hate her, it doesn't mean they would be satisfied after her death. After some more talk no jutsu, Reena convinced Asahina to help them. All of them were really relieved because now they can at least fight back. After a while, the door of the waiting room opened and the teacher entered. The first student he saw was Reena. Before Reena could say anything, the teacher became angry, saying he hates them all. Because of them, the teachers also got entangled in this hypnosis game. Shinoda ran to attack Reena. But at that moment, Asahina came from behind and hit the teacher's head with a metal rod. The teacher tried to attack back, but because he was already dizzy, he couldn't move fast enough. Asahina quickly used the rod and choked the teacher, making him unconscious. Then, they tied him up and threw him inside a small storage room. Meanwhile, Moraes and some others were standing outside the training facility. They were panting a lot because they just arrived here running. Right then, a boy noticed someone and pointed at that person. It was Sonoda who ran away. Suddenly, Sonoda started acting like a little kid, saying Moraes and the others were playing hide and seek. She started shouting like a kid, saying she wanted to play too. Because of all that suffering and getting nothing in return, Sonoda has completely lost her mind. At that moment, Moraes and the others noticed a teacher. They immediately grabbed Sonoda and went into hiding. But because of Sonoda's continuous shouting, the teacher started to come closer and closer. As the teacher came closer, Moraes quickly pushed out Sonoda. When others questioned, Moraes just asked them to shut up, saying they would live longer like this. Standing in front of the teacher, Sonoda kept laughing with an open mouth. Seeing her, the teacher wondered if something's wrong with her. Suddenly, she jumped toward him and hugged him, asking him to play with her. The teacher slapped her on the face, saying because of the students like her, his family ended up suffering. As he started tearing Sonoda's clothes, a boy jumped out, asking him what he was doing. To answer, the teacher used the shovel and split the boy's head in half. At that moment, Asahina appeared behind the teacher, ready to smash his head. But Sonoda destroyed her sneak attack by shouting her name, which helped the teacher dodge the attack in time. Taking the chance, the teacher hit Asahina on the stomach, fatally injuring her. Then, the teacher grabbed Asahina's hair, ready to punish her. Right then, Sonoda hugged him from behind, apologizing to him and Shimobi as well, and asking him to not punish them. Immediately after the teacher got distracted, Asahina used the taser on him, making him unconscious. Reena quickly ran toward Asahina, helping her get up. Then, Asahina mentioned that the taser had run out of power, saying that she was about to fall down, but Reena held her. Finally, Asahina lifts up her shirt and reveals a massive wound, making her unable to help them anymore. At that moment, Moraes shouted, asking Reena to call back Saki. But Kamiyama showed concern, saying they might trigger a signal while trying to call back Saki. So they can't call him back at this point. Meanwhile, Saki finally reached Shimobi's house. He was hoping to find some clue that will help them undo the hypnosis. Inside Shimobi's house, there were pictures of all the students and many books. Saki looked at the books, checks Shimobi's computer, but found nothing. Shimobi has deleted all the data related to the suicide hypnosis. Still, he keeps thinking that there has to be a clue. At the same time, Reena asks the other students to take away the unconscious teacher, while she and the other girl would take Asahina to the infirmary to treat her wound. Asahina barely stood up, calling herself an idiot for fighting a teacher and receiving such a large injury. She remembered how she used to get bullied and was also thrown away as a pawn by the teacher. Even so, Asahina did as Reena said to her. She knows that if her value disappears, Reena would discard her as well. But still, she decided to go along with them because at least Reena is pretending to care about her. Meanwhile, the female teacher was really worried. She remembered her daughter and thought that she was at home fighting against the fear of death. Like if this teacher's daughter moved even an inch, she would die. She thought that she would have to kill all the students here to save her daughter, but she just can't bring herself to harm the students. At that moment, Reena barged into the room with injured Asahina and some other students. Seeing the teacher, Reena reacted quickly and asked everyone to run out. As they ran away, the teacher, Yoshino, called them from behind, but they didn't listen. Suddenly, Asahina shouted, saying that Miss Yoshino isn't that kind of person. Because they were carrying Asahina, their speed was really low, so Yoshino was able to catch them quickly. She asked them to calm down, saying she wouldn't harm them. In the next scene, Asahina was lying on a bed and her injuries were covered with bandages. Yoshino said that she has performed first aid on Asahina, but she's still in a dangerous situation. They can only hope for her organs to be fine. At that moment, Yoshino brought out a water bottle and asked them if they were thirsty. Sometime later, Asahina finally woke up. As she wondered if Miss Yoshino helped her, she heard some mumbling. She slowly got up and saw that behind the curtains, Yoshino has called someone and said that she's in the infirmary. When Yoshino talked about some medicine, Asahina's eyes landed on Sopha's. She saw that Reena and others' eyes were closed, like they were unconscious. Yoshino was still on call and said to the principal she would be waiting. Asahina heard all that and thought that Yoshino just healed her to make the others feel relaxed and then attack them. Immediately, she picked up a scissor and attacked Yoshino. Yoshino barely held her off, asking her why she was doing this. Asahina answered by asking her why she killed Reena. Right then, Reena appeared behind Asahina and stopped her. It turned out that all of them were fine. They were just closing their eyes because they were really tired. Kamiyama also tells her that Miss Yoshino is now their ally. Reena said that Yoshino was talking to Saki about finding a method to undo the hypnosis. After that, she was going to convince the other teachers to stop killing. Hearing that, Asahina was still not convinced and asked about the medicines that she was talking about. Yoshino, holding her injured shoulder, said that she drank the medicine herself that the principal told her to take to calm down. At that moment, a teacher barged into the room. Seeing the students, he immediately questioned Yoshino what she was doing. Yoshino answered by telling him that Reena and the others want to negotiate with them. Reena also talked, saying at this moment, Saki had left the school to find a method to save them and undo the hypnosis. Reena bowed and asked the teacher to wait for some time as Saki would surely find something. Yoshino also requested that they wait for Saki. Before she could finish, an axe pierced her face. As she fell to the ground, the teacher said that there's no other method to save their families than this method right here. Seeing that, Reena and the others didn't wait. They quickly entered the medicine storage room and locked the door. Meanwhile, the principal of the school was smoking cigarettes, standing at the rooftop. He remembered that some days ago, Shimobi said to him that he would be preparing the party. Now, the principal has realized what kind of party Shimobi was preparing. He thought that he wouldn't be able to do all this, and the scene shifted to Reena and the others. The teacher was still banging on the door, asking the students to be good students and walk out. While the others thought that they wouldn't be able to survive, Asahina suggested that they should do a surprise attack. She would make an opening and they would run as quickly as possible. Soon, the door opened, startling the teacher. They took the chance of that moment of distraction and ran outside the infirmary. However, only Reena and 2 others left the room. Asahina stayed behind and locked the door. Seeing that, Reena stopped running, asking Asahina to come out as well. The teacher moved toward Asahina, saying that he will take care of her as quickly as possible. At that moment, a gas filled the room. It was the chlorine gas that Asahina opened in the medicine room. As the teacher got a little distracted, Asahina took out a little knife and cut the teacher's eye. He got really angry because of that and returned the debt by cutting Asahina in half. But before dying, Asahina pierced the teacher's heart with the knife, killing him as well. In the end, both Asahina and the teacher died together. Outside the room, when the voices stopped coming from the inside, Reena started banging on the door. But before she could knock on it 3 times, a boy stopped her. Reena was really sad that she couldn't save Asahina and started crying. At that moment, their phone rang because Saki was calling them. However, they can't pick it up without Asahina. Meanwhile, Saki had devastated Shimobi's house. He tried calling for some time and then stopped, wondering if something happened to Reena. In the end, he found nothing related to undoing hypnosis here. Right then, someone knocked on the door, calling Shimobi. Saki peeked out and saw a man. He then slowly opened the door's lock and hid behind it. The man standing outside started muttering loudly that today's the day he would get Shimobi to return what he stole. The man mentioned that they're thankful for Shimobi's guidance about psychological know-how. But that doesn't mean he can take whatever he likes from their research. The man mentioned H01 and said that it is really important to them. The whole time, Saki was listening to the man and wondered what H01 was. Finally, the man noticed that the doors opened and slowly entered. As he entered, Saki glanced at him and noticed a logo on his shirt. He remembered seeing that logo on some religious group's pamphlet. While he was thinking that, the man moved around and found a case. He was really relieved and said that now he only needs to return this. Right then, Saki appeared behind him and grabbed him from the neck, asking him what's inside that case. At the same time, Reena was still really sad. She was crying, saying she can't take Skaki's place. She couldn't even save Asahina, and is going along with the flow. Hearing that, the boy named Kubota blushed and said that it's not true. He thinks that she's amazing and said that they should get going. In the next scene, they were walking outside, talking about the other students. Suddenly, Kubota pushed away Reena, asking her to watch out. As he did that, the principal, who was on the roof some time ago, fell in front of her. Reena quickly realized that the principal took out himself because if some student had pushed him, it would have been found as violence, triggering the signal and killing the student. Suddenly, she glanced at Kubota, who was already dead. Because he pushed Reena, it counted as violence, triggering the signal and killing him. Reena was really sad, but she didn't start crying. She looked at the principal and thought that 3 teachers had expired, while the other 2 had been captured by them. Meaning now they wouldn't have to be scared of teachers at least. But in exchange, they suffered great wounds and lost many classmates. At that moment, she thought about Saki, asking when he would return. As she thought that, Saki was quickly heading toward the school, thinking he had found the method to undo the hypnosis. He had the same case that the man found in his bag, and the man was sitting unconscious at Shimobi's house. After they subjugated the teacher, they once again gathered in the hall of the induction building. Reena thought that the danger was gone, but the real thing she's concerned about is the families of the teachers. Right then, Saki arrived at the school. He immediately announced that he had found the method to undo the hypnosis. He opened the case in front of them that had 5 tablets in it. Reena saw the medicine and asked how it would get rid of their hypnosis. So the man told Saki that this DH01 is used to treat PTSD, which was originally developed by the religious group. Through the use of DH01, emotionally traumatic memories can be prevented from being recalled. Because the hypnosis video attaches severed amounts of stress on the subconscious, this medicine would prevent them from recalling those moments, hence sealing the memories of hypnosis. Saki revealed that the medicine only reached the prototype stage, so the effects aren't guaranteed. Even worse, there are only 5 medicines. Hearing all that, Wada moved forward, volunteering to become the test subject. If he died, he would be free from more suffering, and if he lived, the person who invented this hypnosis would not live. In the end, because there was no one else volunteering to become the test subject, Wada got the medicine. As he ate it, he started shouting loudly, clenching his head. But soon he returned to normal. When he got up, he was really confused. Seeing the dead student, he was shocked and confused, asking what happened. Kodama tried to calm him down, but Wada hit him, asking him to not touch him. Seeing that, the others were really happy. Because even after using violence against others, Wada didn't die, meaning he's free from hypnosis. While the others were talking, Donu took the chance and snatched the case of medicines from Saki. Without wasting a second, he ate one as well and showed similar symptoms as Wada. After that, only 3 pills were left and everyone started asking Saki to give them one. Seeing that, Reena shouted, asking them to stop. She said that when the time comes, they would save everyone. So she asked them to stop asking for medicine. Hearing that, Maurice asked her if they can't take the medicine, what she was planning to do with them. In the next scene, they brought one of the teachers into the room. He asked them what they were planning to do with him. As Reena previously said that the 2 teachers were locked, one of them died because the taser was too effective, and only this one teacher survived. The teacher asked them if they were planning to kill him as well, and Reena answered no. She told him about the medicines that would undo the hypnosis and asked him to use his connection to produce more of these medicines. In exchange, Reena would give him 3 medicines first. He can use 2 on his family, while with the remaining one, he would create more using his connections with scientists or someone else. The other students started questioning her, asking her why she was doing that. Reena answered that the teachers' families have done nothing wrong, she just can't watch those people die. After Saki agreed with Reena, no one questioned her and they gave the medicines to the teacher and freed him. He promised to do what he could and ran off. Meanwhile, Wada and Donu were really confused, asking the others what was going on. They just can't recall the recent memories at all. Saki looked at them and wondered what he should do with them. These 2 are the important examples that the hypnosis can be undone. They can't afford to lose them. At that moment, Wada and Donu decided to leave because no one was telling them anything. Saki quickly ran to stop them, but as he touched Wada, he started shouting. Similarly, Donu was shouting and clenched his head. The load of memories and all the signals they remembered came back to his mind. Donu couldn't process so many memories at once and threw up. Because of that, he triggered signal number 29 and cut his neck. Luckily, Wada didn't break any signal at that moment and survived. However, now he's hypnotized again. Reena and the others immediately realized how bad this situation was. At the same time, the teacher, Shinoda, finally reached his house and gave the medicines to his family. Saki was about to run to Shinoda as quickly as possible. But right then, they heard voices coming from the side room. They remembered putting the 4 unconscious students there and locking the door. Saki and others immediately went to check on them and saw a horrifying scene. All 4 students have already killed themselves using different methods. While they were shocked, Shimobi appeared in front of them once more. At Shinoda's house, his family was already dead and he was shouting loudly, unable to do anything. So until now, this is the condition of the students. 21 are dead and only 16 were alive. Saki was really shocked, saying that in the end he wasn't able to save anything. When Shimobi appeared, he said that the reason they can see him now means half of the students have died. And now, he would offer them one last bonus chance. Hearing the rules, Reena was really shocked and immediately grabbed Saki, saying they have to run away. The rule would be revealed to the readers in some time. Meanwhile, Wada was sitting on the ground, saying he never thought the medicine would only take effect for 30 minutes. While the others were scared and confused, Sonoda was shouting that she's hungry. After suffering so much and getting nothing in return, she has completely lost her mind. She shouted in Maurice's ear, saying she was hungry. Maurice quickly asked the other students that they should get rid of Sonoda. But they refused, saying it's too cruel. However, Maurice kept insisting that they should get rid of her. He said that they don't have time to take care of baggage like her. In the first place, she became like this because she deserved it. At that moment, Hashiba spoke up, asking him to stop. Hashiba pointed out that Reena was correct. A lot of their classmates died because they thought of their own benefits. He asked Maurice to remember how Sasaki died because of him. Hashiba asks everyone to promise they will not try to kill others and try to find the method to survive together. Wada heard that and asked him why he was acting like a leader out of nowhere. Hashiba answered that he won't be the leader would be Reena. She was the one who convinced Asahina to become their ally, And also she's the one who saved Wada's life. If it's her, she would surely find a way to save them. At that moment, Minowa muttered lightly, "Reena as leader." Hashiba couldn't hear it and asked her if something's wrong. Minowa quickly smiled, saying nothing's wrong and said that Reena as a leader would be great. Right then, Wada got up and decided to leave. He said that he doesn't want to be told what to do by a woman who reeks of piss. However, he had just taken a few steps when a girl shouted. She fell to the ground pointing at Shimobi in front of her. Meanwhile, Reena was running away with Saki as far as they could. Suddenly, Saki pushed her a little, asking her to stop and explain to him why they were running. At the same time, Shimobi announced to all the class students that he wants them to hunt down Saki. Shimobi said that he knew Saki would come to school today, and seeing them in trouble, he would try to help them. Before further explaining, Shimobi revealed to them that after 2 a.m., the school will enter a complete lockdown state. After that, if the sensor detects someone entering or leaving the school, a special chime will ring throughout the school that would make all the students kill themselves. Hearing that, Hashiba realized that if Saki ran out of school, they would all die. Only 7 minutes are left before 2 a.m. Shimobi said that the clear condition is Skaki's murder, not the suicide. If someone in Class C kills Saki, they all need to witness his death as well, and then they would be free from hypnosis. Wada was really happy, because now they only need to murder Saki and they would survive. However, they all had promised to not sacrifice anyone and do whatever Reena would say. But Wada assumed that Reena heard Shimobi's message earlier and ran away with Saki. Wada smiled and mentioned that Reena doesn't intend to save anyone from hypnosis. So, he asked them to vote again to choose the leader. Meanwhile, Reena had told everyone to Saki and asked him to run away before 2 a.m. But Saki refused, saying he can't just leave her behind. He said that to save her he can willingly give his own life. However, Reena didn't want him dead. She said that this time, she will protect him, because she loves him. While they kissed, Shinoda was really angry, thinking that Saki deceived him. At the same time, Wada was trying to convince others to join him. Shiba shouted, asking them to not listen to him. Minowa also added that killing Saki just because of a bonus round is just wrong. Right then, Moraes talked, saying to Wada that he doesn't even know the way to kill Saki. Because violence against others is banned, someone has to sacrifice themselves in order to kill him. So, students started to walk away to gather up and think of something else. But right at that moment, someone pierced the neck of one of the students. It was Shinoda who was really angry and asked for Saki. Students tried to ask him to stop, but Shinoda didn't listen and attacked them. Wada quickly asked everyone to run upstairs. Unfortunately, a girl was really slow and got caught by Shinoda, who killed her without mercy. Hashiba, who got injured when the teacher attacked, was really lagging behind. Wada helped, not because he wanted to, he was helping him to win the trust of the others and make them join him. He thought that he would show them all there's no better leader than him. Meanwhile, in the cooking room, Saki and Reena were hiding. They both were sitting together, supporting each other. At the same time, Shinoda went mad. He was thinking of nothing except killing all the students. After all the students entered the rooftop except one, Wada locked the door. Kodama knocked on the door, asking Wada to open it, but he didn't listen. While knocking, Kodama forgot about signal 31, knocking more than 3 times. As he knocked the 3rd time, he suddenly turned around. He grabbed Shinoda's hand that held the knife, and pierced himself with it. Both Shinda and Kodama fell downstairs, dying instantly. After that, Wada opened the door and was really pleased with the scene. It was all planned. Wada made Kodama fall into a panic, so he would activate signal 31. Up until now, everyone who triggered a signal used a dangerous object close to them. If Shinoda, who had a lethal weapon, was attacking him from behind, Wada predicted that Kodama would leap into Shinoda immediately or something like that. Hearing that, Hashiba was really angry, saying he can't just sacrifice his classmates like this. Wada smiled, saying he's always thinking a couple steps ahead. If it's for the majority, he'll gladly throw away a few lives. He also added that he had to take back something from Shinoda at all costs. He walked up to dead Shinoda and took out a medicine. That is the medicine which would release hypnosis for 30 minutes. Using this, they can kill Saki without facing the consequences of activating the signal. Hashiba still tried to convince them that they can't just kill Saki like this. But no one answered. They were conflicted between what to do and what not to do. At that moment, Wada asked them if they see Saki as some hero of justice. Now, Wada would reveal what Saki really is. Meanwhile, Reena and Saki were sitting together. Reena remembered the time when a teacher was about to grape her and said that she had always been fantasizing that Saki found and saved her not because of a coincidence, but because he heard her screams for help and came running. Hearing that, Saki smiled like some villain and said, that might have been why. Soon, Reena decided to return to the others and asked Saki to wait here. She said that she would try to convince them to not kill him because he's a hero of justice. As she said that, she hugged him, and Saki looked at her like some villain. At the same time, Saki brings out the camera of Izawa. While they were occupied with Asahina, Wada found the camera and checked it, thinking there might be a way to undo the hypnosis in the camera. And then, his eyes came across a certain file. While they were talking, Reena arrived there as well. Wada quickly invited her, saying she came at the perfect time. As he said that, he played the video. It's the video of the time PE teacher was about to grape Reena in the storeroom. Izawa set up the camera in the storeroom, and the one who asked him to do that was Saki. Saki looked at the camera and smiled, saying he would show him something interesting. Soon, Reena came into the storeroom. Behind him, the PE teacher entered as well. The PE teacher showed Reena a note and thanked her for inviting him here, saying he loved her for a long time. But Reena was confused because she didn't invite him. He invited her. Suddenly, the PE teacher starts to force himself on Reena. Then a moment later, Saki entered the room and saved her. All the students were really shocked seeing that. Reena was completely broken. The whole time she was thinking that Saki was just passing by and saved her. Wada added more, saying the reason why Reena was attacked was Saki. He planned everything from the start. Saki joined with Izawa and called both the PE teacher and Reena to take the footage of her getting graped. However, Saki might have changed his mind midway and burst into the scene to help her. After that, Saki asked them if there's still someone who wants to save Saki. Seeing all of them silent, Wada asked Reena where's Saki. But Reena didn't answer and ran away crying. Immediately, Wada asked them to follow her. He also ran behind while smiling. Some of them stayed behind. They couldn't bring themselves to kill Saki even after seeing that video. Soon, they also left the room to find Reena. After some searching, they reached the music room. Minowa stood near the piano with a sad expression. Seeing that, Kamiyama asked her if something's wrong. Minowa said that she was thinking even after they get saved, would they be able to return to their normal lives? Suddenly, Minowa shifted topic, asking Kamiyama to play something to calm them down. It turned out that Kamiyama is really good at piano and even won a nationwide competition. Kamiyama answered that she stopped playing. At that moment, Hashiba came to them and said that they have to search more classrooms. When they left, Reena was hiding behind a wall, thinking that she can't trust anyone anymore. She thought that she would have to hear directly from Saki's mouth to confirm the truth. Also, she was hoping for it to be a lie. At the same time, a boy named Hino entered the cooking round and saw Saki. Hino got scared immediately and called him an imposter. Saki was confused and asked him what he meant. Hino answered by asking him if he's enjoying himself pretending to help them like the time with Reena. Hearing that, Saki was really angry and asked him if they saw Izawa's video. Hino was really scared after hearing that and shouted for help. A moment later, Reena came back to the cooking room. When she entered, she saw that Saki had already killed Hino. As she shouted loudly, Wada and others heard that and came running. But Saki didn't waste a moment standing there, he ran away immediately. Subscribe for the next part. The next part would be the last one and it's crazy.